So, friends, welcome back. Very good morning. So, last class we have seen that the content what I am going to be deliver you for manual testing, core Java and Selenium, and the benefits what we give. All those things. Demo part we have done second demo. Today onwards we are going to be start the actual class of the manual session. Okay. So already we have discussed software testing concepts. What is software testing? Types of softwares, and what is the project and product differences, and what is the error, what is the bug, what is the defect, and what is the failure. These things we have completed. So we have to start the SDLC process, software development life cycle. Before starting this, let me recap these concepts, okay? And we will start the SDLC process. Yeah, first is what is a software. So as you know that software testing, what is a software testing? Software testing is a part of software development process. Software testing is an activity to detect and identify the defects in a software. The main objective of a testing is to release the quality product to the client. This is the main intention of a testing. Any product you've been developed, that developed project needs to be released to the customer. Before releasing to the customer, we need to conduct a testing in giving the 100% defect-free product, quality product. We need to deliver it. In that process, while testing, we will find any defects. We will detect some defects. Okay, we will identify some defects in that software which has been developed, and we give 100% testing clear project delivered to the customer. That's what we do, the software testing. And next, and what that types of softwares. Okay, what types of softwares? Okay, what is software means? A software is a collection of programs that helps us to perform a task. Okay, we have software. Some types of softwares are there. Yes, we have a system software is there, and we have a programming software is there, and we have a application software is there. Friends, if you want to develop any program, see what is a software program? A software is a collection of programs that helps us to perform a task. If you want to do some task, yes, we have to write some collection of programs that helps us to perform some task. Is nothing but we call as a software. Like what we can call software? Application softwares. These are called application softwares. Like web applications, the softwares will be in through web applications, in through like some mobile applications. We have some desktop applications, any kind of applications to perform some task in web or mobile or desktop. We build some collection of programs to perform some task. These are called application softwares that can be in web application manner or mobile apps or desktop apps. These are applications. Friends, where these applications are developed, how does the system know, sir? How does the system know, sir? See, developing the application, a mobile application, desktop application using some programming language only. Yes or no? By using some programming language like Java, C#, .NET, Python. Okay, with these languages, we are developing these application softwares. How does that knows? Programming using some programming softwares like Java, what is it? So in that we use some programming softwares like compilers, interpreters, which interprets the machine language. If you write in Java or C#, it interprets into the system noted language, machine language, bytes, all those things. Okay, na? It compiles and interprets the what you develop using some programming language. It interprets and compiles the program. There are some programming softwares are there like comparison interpreters. And to build this softwares using some program softwares, we need some platform, which is like operating system. System software is required, like device drivers, operating systems, servers, and utilities. Yes or no? So these are the types of softwares: system software, programming software, application softwares we are having. And difference between the project and the product. Yes, what is the difference between the project and product, friends? Tell me. What is the difference between the project and product? Can anyone tell me? Come on. Friends, can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Friends, I think you are in a mute. Please unmute and speak out if you are speaking something. So already we discussed, right? What is the difference between the project and product? Come on. No one? Come on, friends. Tell me whether it is right or wrong. I will correct you. Come on.
Yeah, project is it can develop only the specific customers.
Yes. Correct. What about product?
Product is can develop the multiple customers like example like Instagram, Facebook,
Correct.
Chrome. Yeah.
Yes. One more example we can say Microsoft products. Yes or
Yes.
no? The
Yeah.
Word is there, Microsoft Word is there, Excel is there. Based on customer need, they have released one product. MIS, Management Information System, is also based on customer base. WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagrams, all are designed based on the customer needs. That is developed. That's called as a product. Okay, na? And coming to the project means specific to the customer only we are developing. That's called as a project. Example to say Axis Bank, ICICI Bank, respect to that companies only, the projects were developed only for the clients only. These projects are developed no more to others. Products are designed for any client, any person. So even Microsoft Word, I am using, you are using, some other is using. That's a product we call. Okay. Yes, that's we done that. Now, here also I've given a description for the project and product, I think. Yeah. So here we can see if software application is developed for specific customer based on the requirement, then it is called as a project. If the software application is developed for multiple customers based on a market requirement, then it is called as a product. Okay, na? Fine. Next. Coming to the error, bug or defect and failure. Can anyone tell me the difference when the error will be called, when the bug will be called, when the failure will be called? There are certain phases are there. Come on. Yesterday we have discussed. Can anyone guess it either right or wrong? Please respond something. Come on, friends. When error will caught, when bug will come, when failure will come, at what stages this will come? Come on.
Error is a human mistake.
Correct.
And I don't know whether it is correct or not.
Yeah,
Bug
go ahead.
is something in wrong in application.
Yes, actual with expected. Yes or no? In
Yeah.
application during testing, whether expected, when actually is not meeting with expected results, that's called as a defect. This is called during testing phase. Yes or no? Yeah, correct. What about failure?
Failure, which is fail on the end customer,
Correct.
in the
Correct.
client. Yeah.
Correct. During development stage, errors will come. During test phase, bug or defect will come. In the end customer phase, failure will come. Error will comes when user writing a wrong code, syntax errors or any logical errors, okay, comes. So, okay, not logical errors, syntax errors. System human errors is called errors. In the development phase, this will be coding that's called as an error. Where bug and defect is occurring during the execution, during the executing your test cases, during testing your build, when the requirements are not meeting actual with expected, that's a defect or we can call as a bug. In the testing phase, this will occur. Once the testing is done, then regression testing done, then the product is released to the end customers, released into the client. Okay, na? In the client end, when they are using the application, what we have developed during their work progress, getting some failures, so that's called as a failure. Any error come on a customer end, that's called as a failure. That's what difference we have noticed. Okay, na? Fine. Next up, we will talk about the SDLC, Software Development Life Cycle. Of course, we have SDLC also, Software Testing Life Cycle, we call it. SDLC is called as a Software Development Life Cycle. Okay, na? So if we want to develop any project, we have to follow some process. Okay, na? So while developing the software, some life cycle is there. First of all, we will get the requirement analysis. First, we will go to the client and we will get some analysis. We'll get some requirement and we will be analyzing that requirement analysis. Then after, we will be doing the designings. The designing will be high-level designing or low-level designing, whatever designings, we will do the designings after requirement analysis was happen. After designing done, then we will code it. We will do the developing. That's called coding or developing. Once the coding is developed, then there will be a testing phase. We have to test that coding, okay, as per actual expected reaching or not, we have to test it. After that, what will we do? We will be deploying that code into the servers. In production servers, we will be deploying. After that, maintenance. When customer end using, that's command as a maintenance. So these are the phases will be there in the software development life cycle. Requirements and analysis, designing in a high level or low level, and coding development will be happening. After that, we will be conducting the testing, and after that, we will be deploying into the servers. Then it comes under the maintenance. Okay, na? So, okay, let me continue this. Okay. SDLC, software development lifecycle. Okay, na? Which contains all these things. So, what is the software development lifecycle? It's simple to say the definition: software development lifecycle is a process used by the software industries to design, develop, and test software. Okay, software development lifecycle is a process used by the software industries to design, develop, and test the software. Friends, if you want to implement the SDLC process, so these are the phases. Majorly with the 3 P's, the software development lifecycle will happen. 3 P's. P, P, P. 3 P's. Based on these 3 P's, the software development lifecycle will be happening. Okay, na? So one is people. Without people, we cannot develop any software. First of all, we must need a human resources. First, we require people. And next, what is second P? Process. The people has to be follow some process to develop the project or build. We need to, people has to be implement some process. Then ultimately we get a quality product. Okay. So software development life cycle should be depends on the 3 P's. One is people, 1 P is people, second P is a process, and third P is a product. You must have a group of people. That group of people has to be follow some process, and the process makes a quality product. So, so in SDLC, people will involving and applying some process, which is this is the process. What we are talking like. We must make requirements. Our project manager or product manager goes to the client end and he will get the requirements and he will do some analysis. In designing phase, the people will be involving and designing high-level design, low-level designing. And people will be involving, following that process and doing the development. And some people are involving and doing the testing and deployment and maintenance and customer. This is the end product. Understanding? Next. Okay. How this, now we will, to implement this SDLC process, we have we have some models are there. To implement this SDLC software development life cycles, we have some models are there. Waterfall model is there. Spiral model is there. V model is there. Of course, in between the waterfall spiral, prototype model also is there. Of course, anyhow, the spiral in this spiral is everything is covered. I will discuss there. Okay, na? Waterfall model, prototype model. Anyhow, let me give that prototype also. Okay, waterfall model, prototype model, spiral model, V model. So using these models, we are maintaining the process for the SDLC. First, let's talk about the waterfall model. Before that, let me show you the SDLC, how these stages will be, okay, in pictogram, okay? So instead of drawing, let me Google it. 1 second. Okay. SDLC. If I find effective one, I will show that. Otherwise, I will draw. Okay. Okay. So see, friends. Okay. Design, development, testing, deployment, and maintenance. Okay, let me take this. As I said, first is a planning. Then gather the requirements. We have a client is having some planning. That plan we have to tell as a requirements to the project manager or product manager. So then that is going to be happen as a designing phase. So they are doing some designings, or higher level designing and low level designing. After that, some development team will be involving and doing the coding. They're developing the code. After that, they will be doing some kind of testings. Then after the testing happen, everything working functionality as per actually with expected, then we need to deploy into the server deployment. Then after some maintenance. This is what the SDLC cycle happens like this. Okay, na? So this SDLC to implement, we have some various modules are there. Models are there: waterfall model, prototype model, spiral model, and V model. Like this we having. First, let me talk about the waterfall model. Then after we will talk about what are the advantages and disadvantages while using this waterfall model. And anyhow, waterfall model, prototype model, spiral model are the traditional models to build the SDLC process. Older models, these are traditional models which are used bygone days. Now we are using the V model nowadays. So let's complete today waterfall model, prototype model, and spiral model explanation for today's session. Tomorrow we'll talk about V model. Okay, na? So waterfall model. There itself meaning says it will be working, it will be flow as a water. You know, some water flows are there. Step by step, it will be flowing, right? The same way is called as a waterfall model. Let me search here. Okay, na? Let me search here. Waterfall model. Yeah. Yeah. This in picture I'm showing here. Yeah. This is a waterfall model. See here. So it is like as a waterfall. See, first is requirement analysis. Next is a system design. And next is the implementation is nothing but coding phase. And next is a testing phase. Next is a deployment phase. Next is a maintenance phase. How it look like as a step base. It's called waterfall model. Step by step water is flowing like this, right? It's called waterfall model. It's called waterfall model. Okay, na? So while using this waterfall model, what is the advantages and what are the disadvantages? We will see now. Okay, na? So in a water flow way, the every step is happening. While using this waterfall model, what is the advantages? What is the disadvantages? We will be seeing now. Yeah. Yeah. So what is the advantage of using waterfall model? We will see now. Okay. Advantages by using waterfall model. Okay. What is advantages? First advantage is quality of the product will be good because we are gathering everything as a starting from the requirements. Everything is documented properly. In every level, documentation happens properly. In requirement phase, documentation will be happening. In designing phase, documentation will be happening. In implementation phase, everywhere in every level, we will maintain documentation. Then quality of product will be good or not. With informative in every level, in every stage level, sir, we are maintaining documentation means quality will be improved or not? Yes or no? Quality of the product will be good. In each phase, we are maintaining some documentation, each level, each stage level. So quality of the product will be good. Yeah. And next, what is the advantages? So here, in this processor, so chances of finding bugs will be very less. Why? Because here once the requirements got freezed, according to the requirements, designing will happen, implementation will happen, testing will happen. If once the requirements got freezed, if any new change request comes, it never allows. Understanding? Once you collect the requirements from a client with project manager or product manager, whoever goes to the client, he got some requirement. Every level, they are doing some documentation. Once the requirement got ready, it got freezed. If any change, new change request comes, new enhancements comes, so we never change in this requirements. So there is a chance of finding the bugs with the less. Okay, chance of finding bugs will be less. If new requirements comes, will mess up. Lot of bugs may occur. Chance of finding bugs will be very lesser since requirement changes are not allowed. Understanding? Okay. Since requirements changes are not allowed, chances of finding bugs will be less. Because requirements changes are not allowed, chance of finding bugs will be very less. Okay, na? This is one more advantage. Once the requirements got developed, yes, it will be freezed. It will be freezed. Yes or no? It will be freezed. Okay, it will be freezed. So next, what is the third advantage of using waterfall model? So investment will be very less. Investment will be very less. Why? Because here step-by-step process is happening. Once requirements gathers, then only design will happens. When design happens, then only implementation coding will happens. Once coding is done, then only testing will happens. So where in each phase only we'll be implementing, not in an advanced level. Testers are hired when the testing activity comes, not in the requirement stage, where investment will be very lesser since testers are hired at the later stages. In this stage only, the testers will be hired not in the implementation stage, not in the design stage, not in the requirement stage. So initial investment will be less. Yes or no? Yes or no? Initial investment is lesser since the tester are hired at the latter stages. So testers are hired at the later stages, not in the initial stages. That's why initial investment will be very less. Okay, na? And what is one more advantage of using the waterfall model means this waterfall model is used for the small projects. Okay, these are used for the small projects where requirements are freezed. When the requirements are freezed only, we will be using this waterfall model where this waterfall model is preferred for the small scale projects. Okay, na? Yes. Preferred for small scale projects where requirements are freezed. When requirements are freezed only, we are taking this waterfall model you prefer to use for the small scale projects only. Understanding? These are the advantages of using the waterfall model. What is that? Once again, we'll recap. Advantage of using waterfall models when we go with means what is the advantage means quality of the product will be good because in each level we are doing the documentation. We are clearly maintaining any documents means the quality will become end of the day quality product will come in the end of the stage. Yes. Next is since requirements changes are not allowed, chances of finding bugs will be lesser. If keep on changing the requirements means so lot of mess up will happen, lot of defects will be occurred, but there is no chance in this case because once the requirements got freezed up, it never allows to change the requirements. So if not allowing the requirements initially, what the requirements we gathered, everything is documented. That's why quality of defects will be lesser. That's why bugs will not find more in this case. Okay, na? And third is initially investment is lesser since the testers are hired at the later stages. In this case, here various levels are there. In each level happens when testers level came, then only testers will get hired where less budget will be happening during this process model. Less budget, less investment. And preferred for small scale preferred for small scale projects where requirements are freezed. Once the requirements are freezed only, this model will be used. This is used for the small scale projects, small case industries only. This waterfall model will be used. These are the advantages of using the waterfall model. So advantages are there means disadvantages also will be there or not. So what are the disadvantages while using this? Disadvantages by using waterfall model. So what are the disadvantages? Here, requirements changes are not allowed. We cannot change the requirements. So see, nowadays, once you are building a project means requirements will keep on changing weekly or monthly or quarterly or half-yearly. So if any requirements changes, no. Requirement changes are not allowed. Once requirements freezed, so we cannot change the requirements in the waterfall model. So requirement changes are not allowed in waterfall model. This is one of the major disadvantage drawback in using the waterfall model. What is the second disadvantage of using waterfall model means so if any defect in the requirement is there, that will be continued in the later phases. So in first phase, if any defects are there in the requirements, that will be continued in the second phase. In the initial phase, what you are doing, suppose in phase 1 we are doing, any defect is noticed, any defect is noticed in the requirements, we cannot fix up there. In the next later phases only, we can fix that requirement defect. Okay, na? If there is a defect in requirement in the requirement, okay, that will be continued in a later phases. In current phase, we cannot fix that defect in the requirement. In the later phases only, we're going to be fix this defect in the requirement. This is one more disadvantage. So in later phase, the fixing means the budget will be higher or not. Initially in the requirements, if any defect noticed, there itself we are not allowing to fix up in the current phase. In the later phases, to be continued in the later phase, it is continuing the fix the defect means more investment will be happening or not in this case. What, friends? Yes or no? Hello? Hello? Friends?
Yeah. Yes, yes.
So, everyone able to follow me or not? Total investment is more because time taking for rework. Because here initial phase defects are not freezed here, defects are not fixed. In the later phases we are doing means again one more phase means again investment will be more, right? Because of taking rework. Again we are doing rework again once again in the second phase. So rework on defect is time consuming, which leads to high investment, And here one more disadvantage is testing will be started only after coding only. So as I shown you, everything is waterfall mode means it is linear model. One step to other step, one step to other step only happens where coding testing will not happen parallelly. Once the coding is happened, then only testing will be happening. This is one of the disadvantage. Testing will start only after coding completed. Understood? These are the disadvantages of using the waterfall model. What it says? Disadvantages means requirement changes are not allowed. Once the requirements developed, requirements will not get changed. Okay, na? It cannot upgrade. Okay. If the next disadvantage is if there is a defect in a requirement, that will be continued in a later phases, not in the current phases. It can't be fixed. That's one more disadvantages. If this is happening means then definitely investment will be more for us. In this phase, if it fix means less investment. In later phases, it is allowing to fix that defect means again we must invest some more on it. Yes or no? Total investment is more because time taking for rework on defect is time consuming, which leads to high investment. Okay, na? And fourth disadvantage is testing will start only after coding completed. Coding and testing cannot be performed parallelly. Once coding is completed, then only testing will be happen. These are the disadvantages using the waterfall model, and these are the advantages of using the waterfall model. Is everyone clear about this?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Any doubt in waterfall model? All right. Fine. So it's a waterfall model is a linear model, step-by-step model or linear model we can say. Step-by-step or linear model. Anything we can say. Step-by-step model or linear model we can say. Step-by-step process or linear model we can say. So next model is the spiral model. Next model is the spiral model, having some disadvantages, demerits in waterfall model. What is the demerits? You know that requirements cannot be allowed, and requirements when in the phase 1 defects noticed, in later phase we can fix it, and investment will be more, and testing coding will be done sequentially one after other. Okay, na? So considering all these disadvantages, so another model has implemented in SDLC, in software development lifecycle. Another model has been implemented, which is a spiral model. Spiral model. Yeah, let me. Spiral model. See this, friends. See this. Here, this is spiral model. We can see, right? Here, starting from here, it is spiraling like this. You know, spiral, some spiral binding books are there, like these spirals will be there, right? Spirals, yeah. Here we can see spiral model. It will be defining like this, okay? In this circle happens. So here we can have the planning. We'll have a risk analysis, engineering, which is engineering nothing but development and executions and evaluation. So these things will be there. In this also we have a prototype is there, coding is there, testing is there, project evaluation is there. Everything is there. Requirement gathering, risk analysis, okay, prototype, coding, testing, and evaluation. Okay, na? Prototype is there, and next requirement gathering is there. Next analysis is there. After requirements got, we will do analysis. Then after that we will do the coding. Then we will do the testing. Then project evaluation will be there. This is what happens. See, in the engineering, we have a coding and testing is there. Risk analysis, we can see prototype and risk analysis is there. In planning, we are doing some requirements gathering. Observe here, they are having 4 boxes are there. In each box, we can see some text is there. Planning, requirements. And risk analysis, we are doing some prototypes and risk analysis. And in engineering, development, coding and testing is there. In evaluation, project evaluation is there, which is the maintenance kind of thing. Okay, now. So here we are seeing the prototype, one new concept here. In waterfall model, we never see this prototype. Now we are seeing this prototype. What is prototype? Friends, to make you understand, for example, if you come to the construction company, they will have some plan. Beside the plan, they will have some prototype, which means how the building will be after constructing small buildings. They will be constructing as a prototype. Yes or no? In the company, they will be organizing a small structured building, prototype building. They will be displaying for the customers. Agree or not? That's called prototype. Yes or no? Getting or not? If we construct 20 floors building, how it look like? In a small prototype, a small building, small model building will be constructed as a prototype in the office itself. That's called prototype. Okay, na? Yes. Here in the spiral model, what happens? Okay, what is the, yes, 1 second. Spiral model, okay. So first of all, I will do this, okay. Here in waterfall model, we have all these things, okay, now. And in spiral model, what we have along with this, we have prototype, right? Analysis, requirement analysis, requirement and analysis. Here also we have requirement analysis and what is that? And we have a prototype, right? Design, coding, testing, deployment, maintenance. Okay, na? Fine. Okay. Okay. In spiral model, what is spiral model? Spiral model is a iterative model. Spiral model is the iterative model. Why it is iterative model? I will tell you. Spiral model is a iterative model. Why it is called iterative model? Let's see. Friends, here we can see first start with prototype, next requirements gathering, and first requirements gathering, then risk analysis and prototype will be happening in this cycle, and come to this coding, next is testing, next is project evaluation. This is what cycle happens. Okay, na? So once one cycle happens, again iterative model. If you see here in this requirements, see in this spiral model, it will maintain as a modules. One cycle happens. This is one cycle. One spiral happens means one cycle was happened. One cycle of development, one cycle of coding, one cycle of testing, one cycle of maintenance. Everything happens. Okay. And next, if any change request comes, nothing but modules. One more module as a requirement comes. Again, the starting stage will starting from here. Requirements gathering, risk analysis. Okay. All those things, prototype, requirements, risk analysis, coding, testing will happens. Like this spiral model is a iterative modules. You know, in a project, we'll have a phases. Agree or not? Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, like this. In the phases level, the development will be happen. To make understand, see, suppose we have an example. Take as a what we can take as example to make understand. Take about banking application. Take about banking application example. Okay, na? So here what we do first, login is one module. Okay, na? Check balance is one module. Request statement is one module. Add pay is one module. Check balance is one module. Yes or no? First, for login, you are working means for login, we will take a requirements and risk analysis, prototype, coding, testing, this one. This version 1, we worked on module 1. Next, version 2, for module 2, you are working, which is nothing but for checking a balance. For this, we will plan the requirements, prototype, analysis, coding, testing, and validations or maintenance, whatever it is. Like this, we'll work as a module base. Each cycle as a version, or we will get a one version. Okay, na? Okay, na? One cycle you execute means 1 second. Print screen. MS Paint. Suppose one cycle you work for login. Okay, na? You work for login. So what happens? One cycle you done like this. One cycle you done like this. That is version 1 or build 1, we can call it. And some other new enhancements comes, new requirements comes. Yes, in spiral model, again, we will work for the second requirements. So same, another cycle happens, like this happens. Now that cycle as given as a version 2 or build 2 will come like this. Versions, every cycle is coming as version means nothing but a build or version or a module, anything we can say. Okay, na? That's what I'm saying here. So spiral model is an iterative model. It iterates. Okay, na? Is an iterative model. What next? Spiral model overcomes the drawbacks of waterfall model. Friends, in waterfall model, we have some drawbacks are there. What is the drawback? Requirement changes are not allowed. Once requirements done, requirements can't be changeable. But in this spiral model, yes, overcomes all these things. And if there is a defect in a requirement, that will be continued in later phases. But in this spiral model, yes, it will continue in that current phase only. If any defects found in the requirement, we can fix up in that phase only. In that phase only, we can. Yes or no? These all disadvantages will overcome in this spiral model. What it says? Spiral model overcome drawbacks of waterfall model. What are the drawbacks we noticed in the waterfall model? That in spiral model will be fulfilled here, will overcome. Okay, na? And what spiral model acts now? Next. So it follows the dependencies. It follows the dependency. Spiral model, it follows the dependency. To understand this, I will tell one example. I'll tell one example. So let me type here. We follow spiral model whenever there is a dependency on the modules, which means, see example to understand. Let me take one example as Gmail. Let me take an example as a Gmail. Gmail. So friends, first what you do, we will be logging. Yes or no? We will do the login. After login, so first of all, we want to check the inboxes, friends. What is the dependent to the check the inboxes? First is the login is a dependency. Yes or no? Yes or no? If you want to check your inbox mails, first of all, we have to log in. Login is dependency or not? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Login is dependency, right? To check your inbox mails? Yes, login. So, first, which model needs to be developed actually? Inbox or login? If any requirements you are planning, which module you need to start, inbox module or login module? Which one needs to start first? Which is second?
Login first.
Login first. Next inbox. Okay, na? Next, I want to compose a new mail. I want to compose new mail. Compose is one option is there for to compose in mails. After composing mails, where these mails are come, it will be in a sent mails. Yes or no? So there is a dependency or not? Once you compose a mail, where these mails are coming in sent mails, everything is dependent or not? In the project, whatever modules we are developing, it should be everything something are interdependent. As per sequence, we have to build. Yes or no? First login, next module inbox. Next is a compose mail. Next is a sent mail. So the dependencies we can build in a spiral model easily. Understanding? Yeah. What is that? We follow spiral model whenever there is a dependency in the modules. So when there is a dependency in the modules, spiral model is the best one. Okay, na? When there is a dependency among the modules, we follow the spiral model. And next. So in every cycle, new release is coming or not to the customer. First, you are building the module login. In this login, for you getting the requirements, we are doing the analysis, we are building the prototype, we are building the code, and we are testing the code and maintenance. This one cycle happens. In this cycle, what we are getting? In this cycle, what we are getting? One version or one build is releasing to the customer or not? Yes or no? This got released. Next cycle, with the new requirements or new enhancements, again the same iteration happens in these pages and release one more version called as a version 2 or build, anything, whatever you say that. If anybody working or if anybody knows your friends, you can understand they'll be releasing as a cycles. The builds are released as a cycles. Phase wise, they'll be building the requirements and releasing as a cycles. In each cycle, one build is coming. In another cycle, second build is coming. In third cycle, getting third build like this. Okay, now. So what we get in every cycle, new software will be released to customer. Yes or no? In every cycle, new software will be released in the customer. But where in waterfall model, we not like this having, right? Yes. And how it is releasing? As multiple versions. Yes or no? Software will be released in multiple versions. So it is also called version control model also. Okay, na? So software will be released in multiple versions. In each cycle happens, one version of software is coming. So it is also called as a version control model also. Not only spiral model, we can also call as a version control system also we can call. Understanding? Okay. Next, we will talk about what are the advantages and disadvantages of using this spiral model. Okay, na? So let me put the heading. Advantages of using the spiral model and disadvantages of using the spiral model. Okay. First, we'll talk about advantages. What are the advantages of using spiral model? Means testing is done in every cycle. Yes or no? What, friends? Testing is happening every cycle. Before going to next cycle. Okay, na? Before going to next cycle? Yes. Testing is done in every cycle before going to the next cycle. Next. Customer will get to use the software for every module. Customer will get, see, it is getting for every cycle you are doing testing is every cycle testing happens, a new version is coming. So that is called as a build. Customers will get to use the software for every module. So now login module done, testing done, then it got released. That is used by the customer. Next module planned, that is for mail composition that developed and tested, that has come as a version that released to the, that model released to the customer. Like this, customer will get to use the software for every module. Customer will get to use software for every module. Customer will get to use the software for every module. And what is one more advantage of using this means requirement changes are allowed. Requirement changes are allowed after every cycle before going to the next cycle. Requirement changes are allowed, where in the waterfall model requirements are not allowed to change. Okay, na? Here in the spiral model, requirements changes are allowed after every cycle before going to the next cycle. Okay, na? Requirement changes are allowed after every cycle before going to next cycle. This was one more advantage. Requirement changes, right? Requirement changes are allowed after every cycle before going to the next cycle. These are the advantages of using the spiral model. So what is the disadvantage of using the spiral model? Means yes, requirement changes are not allowed in between the cycles. Between the cycles is not allowed. After completion of cycle only, requirements are allowed to change. Okay, na? Requirement changes are not allowed in between the cycle. After completion of cycle only, it's possible. Okay, na? And what is the next disadvantage? Means customer will get to use the software for every, not that. So every cycle of spiral model look like as a waterfall model. See here, one cycle happens. Even waterfall model also, only one cycle is there, but its parallel model having multiple cycles. Is equivalent to the waterfall model or not? Yes or no? In spiral model, multiple cycles we are doing. Each cycle is equivalent to the waterfall model or not? Yes or no? Every cycle of spiral model looks like waterfall model. And next, third disadvantage of spiral model, there is no testing in requirements and design phases. There is no testing in requirements and design phases. In spiral model, so your testing means only in the testing phase only will do the testing, but in requirements phase, in design phase, there is no kind of testings are available in spiral model. Whereas next model, upcoming model, what you're talking about, V model, there in requirement level, there is a testing. Design level, there is a testing. Analysis wise, there is a testing. Coding level, there is a level of testing. Testing level, we have a testing. In each phase, we have a testing in V model. Whereas in spiral model and waterfall model, we don't have requirement level, development level. They don't have any kind of testings. Okay. So one more disadvantage is there is no testing in requirements and design phases. The same, there is no kind of testing and requirements and design phases even in waterfall model, even in spiral model also, it is not available. Whereas tomorrow we'll talk about V model. In that V model, we will be having the testing phases in requirement level, design level, analysis level, the coding level, and testing level. In every level, we will be having the testing. We can do that. So these are things, friends, for waterfall model and spiral model, what we are talking like. Is everyone clear? Tomorrow, we will be talking about the V model. V stands for verification and validation. V stands for verification and validation. We will do verification, we will do validation also. And each level, we will do the testing also. In each level, parallel development, parallel testing will be happening. Whereas in waterfall model and in a spiral model, we don't see any parallel development and parallel testing. In sequential level, we are conducting requirement gathering, designing, analysis, coding, testing, maintenance, everything happen at sequence level only, but there is no parallel development and parallel testing is possible. Okay, na? I hope everyone understood the waterfall model and the spiral model, advantages and disadvantages. These are the traditional models were used by software development lifecycle in bygone days. But nowadays, we are using the software development lifecycle is the model called V model, which represents V stands for verification and V stands for validation. Parallel development, parallel testing will be conducting. This is the model which currently used by the SDLC process. Will be discussed in tomorrow's session. Any doubts in today's class, friends? Let me know.
No, sir.
So I hope everyone is getting the recordings in YouTube, I guess, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So today's also you can watch the recordings. I think most probably from next week onwards, you will be getting the videos from the drive access. As this first week, 5 days, we'll be getting recordings through YouTube. Next week onwards, you'll be getting the videos through drive. And material also will be shared once you have done your payments. You'll be getting the recorded drive access and you'll be getting the these materials as well. Okay, na?
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Tomorrow's agenda is we will talk about the V model in the SDLC process. V model. Okay. So prototype model is nothing but in between the waterfall spiral is there, nothing but extra word is coming as a prototype. That's it. Prototype means, as I said, the example. So namuna, where we call it namuna, a structure. If I construct really how it look like, that we build as a toy. You know, in the construction companies, we can see the same prototypes, right? Nothing but that same thing. That's it. Every process will be there. Extra, we'll have a prototype. Will be in between the waterfall and spiral. Okay, na? That's it. And this is the V model. Tomorrow we'll talk. And after that, we will talk about the SDLC. So in SDLC, software development lifecycle is there. In this testing part is there. For doing testing, we have to follow some SDLC process. Software testing lifecycle is there. Like test planning, how we plan the testing. Being as tester, we must be involved in SDLC. How we do, we must have a planning. We must design and we have to develop, we have to execute, we have to report it, we have to track it, and we have to make the test closure. This is the process. Then we'll talk about types of testings. We'll talk later on like this. Step by step integration. We will cover all the concepts. Okay. Friends, if any of your friends are looking for trainings, please refer to join from tomorrow onwards the same link. You can refer to your friends the link, what you're joining daily. Okay, na? Yeah. So after completion of manual testing, then we'll move to the core Java concepts. And after that, we'll move to the Selenium, then DevOps and frameworks. All these things will go according to the schedule. Okay, na? So as we are in the starting stage, that's why I'm taking before time, I'm dropping the session because some more new joinees will be coming. That's why I'm going a little bit slow. So after next week onwards, we will take class exact up to 9:30. We will be planning to take the class. Okay. If you don't have any queries, we are good to stop for today. Shall I? Okay. Thank you, friends. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. We'll meet tomorrow with the same link and same time. Thank you very much.